So, you want to write a journal. Perhaps it's to record your thoughts, maybe it's a good way to track what you did and how far you've come. No matter why you've decided to keep a journal, it's 2019. There are 100 different ways you could digitally jot down some thoughts, keep them accessible, synced and backed up at all times. So why on earth would you ever write them by hand in a paper notebook? Because despite the obvious drawbacks, it also has plenty of benefits, some of which might not be obvious at first glance. The bar to entry for keeping a journal is relatively low. You need today's date, a writing implement and a writing surface. Technically speaking, even tally scratches on a wall could be considered a minimalist journal of sorts. What is a journal if not a way to mark the passing of time with timely thoughts and feelings? My current setup for journaling is somewhat more expansive than the bare minimum, but it works for me. I use the Blackwing pencil roll to store everything. This one was very kindly gifted to me by my friend Stuart, who owns Nero's Notes. It's a waxed canvas pencil roll that holds 5 pencils with a pocket for notebooks and a smaller section for accessories. The roll is made by Blackwing in partnership with Bradley Mountain, and the quality is fantastic. It isn't cheap at about £78 here in the UK. You don't need something this high quality for your journaling. You could get away with just a pencil and a notebook, but I'm extremely fortunate to have these things and so I happily use them. In the pencil roll, I keep a small selection of pencils. I like to have a bit of choice when I'm writing my daily journal, and it's a great way to try different grades, brands and styles. Currently in my rotation, Palomino Blackwing 42, Palomino Golden Bear, just reached Steinbeck, Palomino Forest Choice, the official 1857 podcast pencil, and a California Republic Jumbo Spangle. This one's just too big for normal journal writing and I'm going to switch it out. In the memo pocket I keep my journaling notebook of choice, the ruled Moleskine Cahier. I've gone through quite a few of these over the years. I like their consistency and availability. I've been able to buy them all over the world and I can rotate through cover colours without vastly changing the paper feel. The paper itself is also suitable for long-term storage and should last many years. In the final pocket, I keep the last essential element of my setup, a sharpener. This is one of 2 Apsara long point sharpeners that I keep with this kit. They are extremely cheap and produce an amazingly long, sharp and strong point. Once the blade dulls, I have a spare with me. 2 sharpeners and 5 pencils mean I have a fair bit of redundancy in my setup, which makes it easy to take it with me wherever I am. The pencil roll has a leather strap which ties it up nicely. I added a small plastic clasp to keep it from unravelling, but you probably don't need this. This small and portable setup keeps everything I need to write my journal in one place. When I want to write my journal, which is typically in the evening long before I go to bed, I unfold the pencil roll and lay out my tools. I then write a single page entry in the Moleskine, dated for that day. Typically I cover what happened, any important events, milestones or feelings I might have. Some days I run out of space. Other days I struggle to fill the page. The importance is not on what I write, but that I write. The Moleskine has just over 60 pages, so each notebook holds 2 full months of daily entries. I go through about 6 books a year. So that's how I keep an analog journal. But why would anyone want to do it? There are plenty of websites, apps and services out there that can facilitate journaling in a totally digital way. For example, the Day One app for iOS promises far more features than a notebook ever could. Tagging, metadata, markdown, linked photos, timing, dates, all that stuff. Compared to an app like Day One, a paper notebook and woodcase pencil seem almost barbarically simple. But I believe there are 5 reasons why analog journaling is the best way to keep a journal. Number 1. It's slow. Writing your thoughts out by hand is far slower and more time consuming than bashing out a few hundred words on a keyboard. That's why it's better. This isn't a screenplay. It's not a TPS report. Speed is not a metric we're interested in optimizing for here. The point of a journal is to capture your authentic thoughts and feelings on paper. Having a little time to let those thoughts and ideas mature and coalesce as you write them is tremendously beneficial. and should lead to a more authentic and well-considered thought being recorded on the paper. Number 2, it ingrains muscle memory. Similar to revision, writing things out by hand is a far better way of ingraining it into your memory. Personally, I find that sometimes I don't even realise I actually feel or believe something until I externalise it on paper when writing my journal. It could be something as simple as "this made me feel amazing" or "I'm anxious about this." Scratching those words into paper with a pencil is a strangely good way of ingraining them into your own understanding. It takes it from nebulous, non-corporeal thought to carbon-based physical inscription. Number 3, it's tactile. There is something unmistakably enjoyable about writing with pencil on paper. Many of us use keyboards and computers all day long. We type emails, write reports, send messages. They are faster, easier, and simpler than paper-based media, but they lack something tactile and touchable. If you enjoy the smell of a freshly sharpened pencil or the scratch of graphite on paper, then giving yourself just a few minutes every day to savour it is a welcome reprieve from an increasingly more digital life. Number 4, it's a physical record. The benefit of a journaling app is that it's omnipresent, floating in the electronic ether, ready to be downloaded or streamed to any device at a moment's notice. Its practicality is also its drawback. There is no notebook. You might have written an entry on a MacBook or a mobile phone. The words are all that exist. And while the words are important, there's a lot more adjacent information and context that can be captured with a physical notebook. The coffee stain where you set it down in that amazing coffee place last summer. The smudge where you broke your pencil lead in frustration after a difficult day. The errant doodle you drew in the margin when you were daydreaming last week. These things cannot be captured as Unicode characters and exist outside of the typical contents of a journal, but have intrinsic value that can't be ignored. And number 5, it's a ritual. The process of writing a journal, digital or analog, is fairly straightforward. You take some time and write some words. The benefit of an app is that you can do that anywhere. You can be on the train, in the office, or in bed. It's ever present and ready. If you use a notebook and a pencil roll, like I do, it's a little more complicated. You need to find somewhere to write, open up the roll, set things out, sharpen a pencil, get the date, all that stuff. Much like a tea ceremony or a morning routine, having a ritual around writing my journal makes it a far more meaningful and beneficial experience for me. No matter what kind of day I'm having, I know that I will have 10 to 15 minutes this evening to sit down and write about my experiences using pencils I like in notebooks I enjoy writing in. This ritual means that my journal is a stable element in what is otherwise a changeable and busy life. Those are my 5 reasons why I think handwriting a journal in 2019 is better than using any of the amazing apps or online services. Yes, it's more hassle, it involves more things, and it takes more time. But I firmly believe that all those elements make it a far more rewarding and beneficial experience that you're more likely to continue going forward. As ever, your mileage may vary. This is what works for me. No matter how you record your thoughts, the most important thing is that you do. Happy journaling. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy these kind of videos and want to see more, there are a couple of things that you can do to help. If you think this video has earned it, the cheapest and easiest thing to do is hit subscribe. You see new videos as soon as they arrive, and I'm told you can ring the bell if you want to be notified of each one, but that's up to you. Without my patrons, none of this would be possible. Patrons get early access to videos, behind the scenes content, and tons of extra cool stuff. If you like the videos I create and want to support the process, then you can become a patron for just $2 a month. If you want to help, but you don't want to splash the cash, then just tell a friend. Someone who likes pencils or notebooks or writing or paper. Just show them your favourite video, and that helps a bunch. Thanks for watching.